As of the time I wrote this script, Russia is currently at war with Ukraine. I am very disappointed in the dissident right. Very disappointed. When Russia invaded Ukraine, I thought it would be obvious which side we should be supporting. I thought everyone would look at Russia and see a relatively based, non-democratic, right-wing country, then look at Ukraine and see a Western puppet under the control of the woke left. Then make the obvious conclusion that Russia is based and Ukraine is woke and side with Russia. No. People are complaining about Russia not being based because the Russians are not right-wing enough on some issues and siding with Ukraine, or saying we should not pick a side. Some point to Russia's problem with abortion and lack of church attendance. Others point to Putin's quote-unquote denazification rhetoric and persecution of Russian nationalists. These people forget that Russia has a high abortion rate, but this is in spite of stronger abortion laws. Russia may not have totally banned abortion, but they are better than Ukraine, whose president is very pro-abortion from a law perspective. They also forget that while Russian church attendance is low, religiousness is high, with a majority of people believing in Orthodox Christianity. They just don't go to church for some reason. As for the anti-Nazi stuff, the National Socialists in Ukraine are fighting for the government, which is liberal, by the way, and are anti-Russian, so why wouldn't Putin not like them? As for suppressing nationalists, Russia does this and it is bad, but so does every European nation. At least Putin is more nationalistic than the West. So yes, Russia is based. They are way more trad and right-wing than the West, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Now let me continue to make the case for Russia by explaining what should be clear from a dissident perspective. Ukraine is a client state of America and the globalist elites. Its so-called Nazi units do not change that. The globalists want Ukraine and Russia to become woke and Americanized. Vaush, the Lincoln Project, and Biden are hoping for a Ukrainian victory for a reason. Being pro-Ukraine means being pro the establishment and pro-wokeness. Putin has stopped wokeness from infecting Russia for 22 years. Putin is the second most based political figure in all of Europe, with Orban being the most based. If Russia becomes a democracy and gets rid of Putin, you will see George Floyd statues and gay pride flags all over Russia. If the Zelensky government remains in power, you will see the same thing in Ukraine. If Russia wins this war, Ukraine will likely get de-wokeization and de-Americanization. We have a chance of a lifetime to destroy a globalist government in one European country. We have the chance of a lifetime. If Russia wins, it is a victory for the right. Saul Alinsky once said in his book, Rules for Radicals, that you need to treat the world as it is and not as you would like it to be. Well, I hate to say it, but Saul Alinsky was right. You treat the world as it is and not as you would like it to be. In the world as it is, there is never, at least for now, going to be a quote-unquote based elite by our standards. Right now, the two most based countries are Russia and Hungary, relative to every other country in Europe. That's the world as it is, not the world what we would like it to be. So, if we want to work toward the world that we would like it to be, we got to work with the world as it is. So what we do is we support the most base elites in order to get things rolling in the right direction. So you might say things like, oh, Ukrainians have a right to national self-determination. No, in the world as it is, siding with Ukraine means siding with wokeness. And wokeness represents a much bigger threat to the society we want to build than Russia. That's the world as it is. So in the world as it is, you got to work with the best that you have. And the best that we have is the elites in Russia and Hungary, who may not be perfect, but who have proven to be a rogue elite against Globo Homo. And so when I look at people saying, oh, Russia is not based because of X, Y, and Z, or saying that we should not take a side because we shouldn't appear disloyal to America or something, like, I'm sorry, but this is just ridiculous. Obviously, from a purely pragmatic perspective, we know which side to take. In the world as it is, the Russians are the best we got. Thank you.